The Parliament of Denmark, led by the Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Torben Skogsgaard. The National Parliament of Ireland, led by the Assistant Secretary General, Ms. Anita Corran. The House of Commons of Canada, represented by the Chief Audit Executive and Senior Director of Planning, Ms. Jennifer Rauf. The Parliament of Sierra Leone, led by the Director, Center of Strategy and Parliamentary Services, Mr. Muhammad Jato. The Parliament of South Africa, led by Strategy Planning Manager, Mr. Herbert Berger. The Parliament of Kenya, led by the Deputy Director, Parliamentary Budget Office, Ms. Lucy Watima. The National Assembly of Namibia, led by the Deputy Director, General Services, Ms. Emilia Awilamu. I wish, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, to receive distinguished guests and warmly welcome them in our midst. I thank you. Honorable Member for Kabata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity given to the good people of Kabata to add their voice on the speech that was delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Hakainde Hichilema. Mr. Speaker, allow me to talk about some progress that have been made in consolidating some achievements that have been made by this government, especially in the area of ICT. The President, when he came here, he did actually talk about the growth of the mobile transaction business. Between 2021, or let me say from 2020, we saw the figures that were flying around in terms of growth, which were about close to about 175 million kwacha. But between 2022 and also 2025, we've seen how these figures have actually grown. Today, as I'm speaking, the mobile transaction stands at 400 million kwacha. Mr. Speaker, the financial transaction is one of the industries that we need to nurture and see that it grows. Because most of the businesses that we have around now, they have moved in this direction of financial transaction. And that is the reason why we are seeing the mobile transaction, mobile business actually growing. However, the growth has actually been hampered by some of the challenges that we've seen. And this is actually due to some connectivities in rural areas. If we want to grow the mobile business transaction, even in Lusangazi, in areas like Shangombo, we need to ensure that our people are provided with the best mobile connectivity services. Again, look at what has also been happening on the issue of the data centers. We see that in the country, we only have close to, I think if I'm not mistaken, about 2 data centers that are able to handle some of these transactions. I think we need now to start growing some of these data centers, because the fintech business is actually growing at a rapid speed. Mr. Speaker, also, if you look at some of the equipment that we have in the ICT infrastructure, I think there's need for us to grow and improve on the ICT infrastructure. Because the ICT infrastructure, if it is gone, then it means even the youths that we're employing to go in the rural areas, they will have the appetite to go and work in the rural areas. But if we fail to provide such infrastructures, you'll find that will be an adverse effect to the youths that we are trying to give jobs, especially in the rural areas. Mr. Speaker, also, I believe that when it comes to ICT, there's need also to build capacity. Look at what has been happening in terms of scammers. Yes, we are growing the business. At the same time, we are also seeing how scammers are invading secret passwords. We are also seeing how millions of kwachas have been lost out. Just last year alone, over 120 million Kwacha was lost through these scammers. So cyber security is one of the issues that we really need to effect. Let's also formulate roles that are not going to remain constant. We should formulate roles that are going to speak to the challenges that is affecting cyber security and cyber crime. Mr. Speaker, also, the President, when he came here, he did actually emphasize on how we've managed to grow the mining sector. Look at what we have done with the mining sector. Today, as we're speaking, the New Dawn government is busy now opening up big mines. We are busy now investing and expanding into these existing minings that we have. First Quantum, look at Kalumbila, how we're expanding and they are investing. Look how mines that 47 years, Kalengwa mine, today we are able to celebrate and say there's something that is happening in Kalengwa mine. The President also mining licenses. On the issue of artisanal mining license, yes, we believe and we are grateful that over 1,400 people, youths, different cooperatives have received this artisanal mining license. But we need to follow up and see what they are doing. Let's have an audit and see if these mining license, artisanal mining license, are actually adding value to this nation. This is what we want to see. We want to see these artisanal cooperatives that are into mining able to contribute to the national collection of national revenue. This is what we want to see, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, also on the issue of land, the President did emphasize on land corruption in the administration or allocation of land. We have seen that in the past 7 or 8 years or so, we see how cadres were busy invading other people's land. And the President did actually emphasize on the issue of doing survey mapping. But I believe before we do a survey mapping, we should look at the issue of land audit. Because land audit will be able to tell us and give us information of what parcel of land is there in the, for commercial purpose, what parcel of land is there for residential purpose, what parcel of land is there for agriculture purpose and small holding. So we really need to ensure that we push for a land audit. We can always ask our cooperative partner for some funds. We have countries like Rwanda that have managed to do a land audit. Today, Rwanda is able to know how much piece of land is there for agriculture purpose. For instance, in Zambia, we have if I'm not mistaken, close to about 75 million hectares of land available for agriculture purposes, but only 7.5 million is what is being used in the agriculture purpose. So we really need to do a land audit so that we can identify and see where we are failing to do well. Mr. Speaker, also on the issue of social protection, the President did emphasize that cash for work is here to stay. Most of our communities today, we are able to see how the roads and the drainages are being cleaned up because of the same social cash transfer that we're talking about. Look at the cash for work, how it is transforming our community. Look at the social cash transfers for those elderly women who are receiving the social cash transfer. Mr. Speaker, I believe that on social protection, the President has actually scored. The UPND government has actually scored because cash for work is definitely changing and transforming our communities. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of CDF, no one here could actually challenge the President to say CDF is a service, the CDF is not working. The President challenged each one of us to say or to give us an indication where if any one of us has not received the CDF or is not utilizing CDF, we are able to see how schools are being expanded. We're able to see how health posts are being constructed. We're able to see how maternity annex are being constructed to provide the best health services to our mothers. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to say that the good people of Kawata do support the presidential speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Shuangandu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me a chance to make a few comments on the SONA speech delivered by the President last Friday. Mr. Speaker, I'll draw attention to page 48 of the speech under the water and sanitation. sector. Mr. Speaker, the President acknowledges that we've expanded water supply and sanitation facilities in the country. Major projects completed include Kaflafuta water supply system, the Kazungula water supply and sanitation, the Kafue bulk supply, and the Kaputa supply and sanitation projects. Mr. Speaker, what the project was acknowledging here is that government is a going concern. You will recall that the water sector up to 2016 was a portfolio function under the Ministry of Local Government and Housing, and had a privilege to save the nation in that ministry. These projects, Mr. Speaker, Kafue bulk and Kaflafuta bulk, were contracted in the year 2014. I took the two cab memos to have these projects contracted under date. The Kaflafuta being around somewhere $430 million, and Kafue somewhere around 320 thereabout. When we are saying you go and look at the scope of the works, Mr. Speaker, all I'm trying to say is that even as people talk about dates, they should know that some of the dates that were contracted were life-saving, because it is known that water is life. And I saw how proud the President was to go and launch the Kaflafuta bulk, which is to Kata, Fondola, Luansha, Masaiti, and a few surrounding areas. Because if we didn't do that, Mr. Speaker, at that stage, this time around, Kaflafuta was struggling to treat water for the people. If we didn't do that, Mr. Speaker, the cholera that you used to see in Kanyama and all the surrounding areas in Lusaka would have continued. So even when you are condemning the date, you must know that some of the dates that we contracted were life-saving, such as this. These other two projects were contracted when we created the Ministry of Water, where my colleague is, to ensure that our people had guaranteed water sector to deal with non-communicable diseases. I was happy to see my mother, when as the Vice President, go to commission the Kaputa water sanitation, because that's the only project that is there. And I'm praying that my mother will make sure that there's a road, that contract which was cancelled. That will be a very big challenge for you, because that project is a monumental one. That's what governments do. Leave something. So even when we are talking about CDF, yes, CDF is constitutional. We made it constitutional in 2016 constitution. So every successful government now are bound to ensure that the CDF is appropriated for. It's in the constitution. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, government should make sure that you prioritize those capital projects. Yes, you have restructured the debt, but you should also know that that debt was properly contracted, such as the example the President was giving here. Mr. Speaker, I was happy to hear the President say, we as a country, we should make sure that we settle certain matters out of court. I agree with him 100%. Yes, criminal matters should go to the court, and all those clear cases. All you are saying, and I hope the Attorney General was listening, is that apart from business transactions that can be sorted out of courts, there are also certain matters that just require collective wisdom. Why should this era, Mr. Speaker, we as a country should be making headlines that wizards have been jailed for 2 years and so and so? The question, Mr. Speaker, the President has informed the nation publicly that he doesn't recognize witchcraft. We were all listening. But here we are, and people are calling us, now you have got witch doctors as magistrates. Because to determine witchcraft, you need a witch doctor.
Yes.
So now those who were determining to say those two wizards were witches, Were they which doctors now working under in the subordinate courts? So those are the issues that require. Mr. Speaker, we have hit the international headlines.
Yeah, for wrong reason.
For wrong reasons, wizards. This era where we're supposed to be talking about AI. Where wisdom, Mr. Speaker, should have prevailed, all of us collectively, we could have resolved the issue of the former head of state. It didn't need the Attorney General to drag the poor widow into an international court, a foreign court. Those are the matters, Mr. Speaker. The President was sitting there telling us, let's take the matters.
Honorable, that issue is quite sensitive. I think there's, as humans, let's avoid making political capital out of it. Let's ensure that we should be as humanly possible as we can. I know since Tuesday when we started debating the presidential speech, one or two people have tried to make political capital out of it. I think we all know we are Zambians and we are humans. So avoid. You can talk about other things. I think even Madam Speaker earlier, she guided. You've got a lot to talk about your constituents, about the economy. You've got a lot to talk about. You can talk about what is happening in Shuangandu. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well guided. Mr. Speaker, in Shuangandu we have at least got 1 megawatt, so power at least people are not as stressed as the people in the urban area. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues have lamented about this issue of power shortages. We have had the minister coming here announcing the emergency tariffs. Which emergency tariffs, Mr. Speaker? He said people needed to pay more so that we could import power for them to have enough hours of power. Alas, Mr. Speaker, people are paying high tariffs for the power which is just visiting them in the night. 03 to check how they are sleeping. 03 to 05 power is gone. Mr. Speaker, how productive are our people going to be? How? So this, we appreciate the President wants us to work with him. And I don't know, we have to hear now the policy from the minister. Or now we can participate as we were invited to make sure that road shading is completed. My colleague talked about the Dubai formula. Quickly, Mr. Speaker, the fuel subsector. We lamented here that in then you are closing will pose a challenge to this nation. People didn't listen. Today, we are paying so much for fuel which is not even available. Madam Speaker visited us in Muchinga. It was a struggle for them to just come back because there were shortages of fuel despite the high prices. So those who have been given jobs to help the president must start working, because people who send a message, they are already sending a message. You have seen what is happening across in Malawi. For fuel shortages and power shortages, people are being voted out.
Order, Honorable Member.
Mr. Speaker,
Your time.
I also want to tell those who prepare this speech to do the right job. Because here, if you see this
Honorable Member, your time is up.
Those who are giving extra time.
Honorable Member. And let's avoid using Malawi as an example. Zambia is a different country altogether. Malawi is Malawi. Zambia is Zambia. Yes. What happens in Malawi is in Malawi. As we are here, we are in Zambia. The Honorable Member for Mwinilunga.
Mr. Speaker, shukran. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, the previous speaker has chased away the visitors that we had when he started talking about witchcraft. Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I want to start my debate by looking at the theme of the speech of the President, which was well crafted. Consolidating the economic and social gains that have been achieved in relation to prosperous, resilient, and equitable Zambia. I want to talk about equity a little bit. When I look back in 2024, when the President came here to address us on the issue of national values and principles, he said, we have achieved equality, but we are yet to achieve equity. And I believe it's in this breath that the President and the nation at large are calling for amendments to the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, and woven in that amendment is the issue of delimitation. Mr. Speaker, delimitation is very, very important because there are some constituencies that are so vast and the resources that they are getting are not enough to go around. And we have usually said there is an imbalance in the distribution of these resources because of the vastness of some constituencies. A very good example is perhaps the ambulances that were being given yesterday. Some provinces were getting 22 units. Some were getting 20, some 19 units, some 15. And some of these provinces that were getting these numbers are actually smaller in size than Northwestern Province. We are the least as a province. We got 12 ambulances. So there is inequity here that should be cured using the amendment to the Constitution. So we are calling for the Bill 7 to come back so that we can reverse this trend of imbalance. I move on to my next line of thought. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that President HH, I'm usually not a praise singer. That's not how I'm made. But when I say something, I'm saying something of substance. I want to say that President HH has been a champion, and I'll give reasons. A champion amongst the presidents that have ruled this country from 2009 perhaps to 2021. In 1986, we had the national housing policy. I want to tell you that this national housing policy is an award-winning policy on the continent, but it was not implemented. Some countries came to learn from us and they went back, they implemented, and Zambia still did not implement this policy. We went crawling back to them to find out how they implemented the national housing policy. This is same with the national decentralization policy. And my debate is in my line of competence, Mr. Speaker. The national decentralization policy from 2009, when President RB took over, to 2021, all these presidents in between, may their souls rest in peace, failed us in terms of implementation of national decentralization policy. HH is a champion. Is a champion because when he took over, the allocation to CDF went from 1.6 million to 25.7. Again it moved, now we are at 36.3 million. You cannot implement a national decentralization policy or any policy of substance a significant, substance without a champion at the presidential level. You need to have a champion in the name of the president so that you are able to allocate resources for implementation. The reasons why we've been failing to implement most of the policies, it is because of the inertia in that office of the presidency. Now that we have HH, that's why I'm saying we have a champion in that office. And the benefits of constituency development fund or decentralization is for everyone to see. I mean, I'm taking when someone says CDF is just 2.3. Compare what 2.3 of the budget is doing to 10% of the budget during the PF period. I think the 2.3% today, its impact is felt by every Zambian in every corner of our country. So, Mr. Speaker, the president that we have is in terms of the implementation of the national decentralization policy, and I think in terms of development and service delivery, because you can see what has happened today. My council has full-fledged equipment, from a grader to tippers to rollers or compactor, water bowser, excavator, and a robot. We never dreamed that there is a council that is going to have this equipment. Never. Never. But look at the benefits that, this championship in the name of President HH has brought to our country. I think a lot of services are now be able to be delivered because we have built the infrastructure that we can use to provide services to our people. Of course, the people from Mwinirunga that are watching me are saying, how about our road? The Mwinirunga-Sorezi road. What has happened? I want to assure you that I am in touch with the president, I'm in touch with the Minister of Infrastructure. That road is going to be done, and done very shortly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Kawe Central.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for according people of Kabwe to add a voice on the debate on the presidential speech. I must say from the onset that we are in full support of the president's speech, and it was so inspiring and true to the fact that whatever he has spoke in his speech is what is happening in our constituency, in the Kabwe Central constituency. Mr. Speaker, I will start talking about the free education policy. When the New Dawn government came into power, indeed they actualized the free education policy, which since then we have seen an increase to the space of about 12 classroom blocks in the Kabwe Central constituency. And our learners, indeed, the enrollment has increased. And apart from just providing 1x3 classroom blocks of about 12, they are fully furnished by the desks. And this is true to the fact that it was not only a pronouncement of free education, but also a support is being given through the resources that are allocated, even through CDF. Not only that, also there is a feeding program, so that our learners do not go to school on empty stomach. At least they concentrate in learning. I also want to say that also there was support through recruitment of teachers that we all have seen. Mr. Speaker, I must say that before the New Dawn came into power, we saw a lot of children that were just staying in their houses. Some of them were in the streets, that they even earned the name of junkies. So this name came because the education sector were neglected. But when the New Dawn came into government, we had to make sure that our children go back to school. And those that fell off school, we provided them skills training. So in Kabwe Central constituency, so far we have trained about 1,500 children that fell off from school that were just in the streets. So these are the milestones that the New Dawn government have made in the education sector. Apart from that, also the bursaries and the secondary school education, we are sending a lot of children so far. We are about 300 that have gone to school that we are sponsoring under bursaries. Not only that, even if you talk about the tertiary education, we know that meal allowance which were never there, and also the bursaries, the students' loan that our students are getting. So it is a milestone, and it's true to the fact that the government is doing a lot under the education sector. Allow me now to talk about health. Indeed, the New Dawn government have made an effort to make sure that comprehensive health care coverage is really attended to. So I might testify that in Kabwe Central constituents, we have so far done maternity wings, about 4 of them are fully equipped, fully stocked, and fully staffed. Meaning the medicines are there, equipments are there, and the staffs are there. So, and I must also say that, thank you so much, not only from CDF, we are also allocated district hospital that will be fully equipped at the total cost of $30 million United States dollars. The contractor is already on site. So thank you so much, the New Dawn government. You are really doing a great job. I want to also say that also recruitment of health workers is also, and we have been recruiting, even people of Kabwe have been benefiting a lot. Our nurses, doctors are being employed. Under micro SMEs, I want to say that the government also has been doing a lot. Under CDF, we have so far, under loans and grants, given out about 21 million in our constituents. Imagine, yes, the president said that the repayment is bad. I must say that, yes, it is bad, but we are right to the fact that we have started following these people. And the payment, which was at 9% repayment, now we have gone to 26% repayment. So this program is very good because imagine this amount of money, it is in our constituencies, it is in my constituents. And if people start paying back this revolving fund, a capital base can even go to 100 million, this is what the New Dawn government wants, to empower everyone who is in the business, so that no one sits back without doing anything, or no one goes with hunger because there's nothing that they are doing. So I must say that the government is doing well in that, in the line of improving or helping the SMEs. Infrastructure. I've heard there are so many roads that have been attended to, including we have heard about Chivuruma, but I want to say that also in the Kabwe Central Constituency, we have not been left out. The president said and made these words that it has worked for us at Kabwe Central, in Kabwe Central constituency. I mean, we should know things that are happening. We knew that there is dual carriageway passing in Kabwe Central constituency. And when we are told this fiscal space cannot allow to do the township road, we had to write that, please, can we do a variation order? And the listening government listened to us and responded, and so far now we have been allocated 40 kilometers of township roads, which will be a milestone in the Kabwe Central constituency. We don't have decent roads, and once these roads are done, indeed it will be a marvel, to be a nice town to live in and travel in. So thank you so much also to the government for these 40 kilometers that have been assigned to Kabwe Central constituency. On social, I want to say that the government also has done a lot on social protection, social cash transfer. So far in Kabwe Central constituency, about 68,880 people have benefited, who are getting 600 kwaches. You can imagine this money also, it is in our constituency. People are benefiting. What more people do they want in terms of supporting our people? Yes, what else do they want? Social cash transfer, you know, even in now, they are increasing the numbers. So our people are taken care of. No one is crying that the government is not taking care of us. So this is also a milestone. Under industrialization, Mulungush Textiles, you heard the president said he is coming into commission. And indeed, if you come to Mulungush Textiles and the tour, you will find the new machinery. And not only is the machine going to, you know, the industry going to be printing, of course, materials, tenges, this industry has a ripple effect. Even if farmers are going to benefit. Thousands of farmers will be growing cotton, will benefit from Mulungush Textiles. Right now, there is seed, there is available, there is chemicals available for any farmer who would want to grow cotton in the country. So Kabwe Central constituency is really benefiting to the policies of the New Dawn government. And I talk about agriculture. Agriculture, the government has done a lot. I'm happy to say that we no longer hear those words like, by Minister Bansala, because there's bumper harvest in the country. And now, even in the inputs, the farmers are receiving on time. Right now, they've already started receiving. Meaning this government is doing a lot. It's doing a lot for our people. Even the prices has been increased for our farmers. So farmers are very, very happy with the policy and the help that the government is giving to our people. So no one is left behind. The government is doing a tremendous job. I want to say that I'm so happy and delighted that this government is doing a lot. Wherever there are issues, wherever there are issues that they have seen that we have not done well, the president said they are right to the fact that there are challenges here and there. But there can never be any smooth running in any situation, in any project, or even running the country. Wherever there are issues that need to be attended to, the government is right to the fact that they will attend to those issues. They will attend to those issues. Even the issues of crying of power, the government is like the fact that right now, the government is not sleeping. The president is not sleeping. Cabinet is working round the clock to make sure that they find a solution of make sure that we end the load shedding. Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I thank you so much for these few words. I say we are in full support of the speech of the president. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Matero. The Honourable Member for Pemba.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to debate the motion of the President on the floor. Mr. Speaker, when the Elishas lead, the inhabitant of that nation rejoice. Mr. Speaker, in 2022, your government, my government, our government procured monitoring vehicles for projects. These were 156, and they were distributed across the country. When the Elishas lead, the inhabitant of that nation rejoice. In 2023, Mr. Speaker, your government, my government, our government procured police vehicles to police crime in this nation, and Pemba was among the beneficiaries. All the 156 constituencies benefited. When the Elishas lead, the inhabitant of that nation rejoice. Mr. Speaker, 2024 budget under CDF amount was allocated to procure ambulances. This year, 2025, we witnessed the distribution of these ambulances across the nation. All the 156 constituencies are to benefit. Mr. Speaker, when the Elishas lead, the inhabitant of that nation rejoice. Mr. Speaker, one thing I like about our President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is that he is very methodical and he works on targets. Under agriculture, Mr. Speaker, the President and the New Dawn government is targeting to earn $1 billion through beef export. This is being methodical. Mr. Speaker, as a constituency, we are also walking the talk to support this idea. We are in the second year of supporting our small-scale farmers through dipping chemicals. What I mean is, every year we support the farmers, and we are moving towards of course, supporting the idea of our president. Mr. Speaker, like I indicated, our president is target-oriented. He informed this August House that currently we are irrigating about 200,000 hectares of land, and we are moving to 500,000 hectares. Mr. Speaker, as a consequence, we are also supporting this idea. 2025, we have allocated 1,140,000 towards irrigation. Mr. Speaker, your government, my government, is walking the talk towards developing this nation. Mr. Speaker, these governments have grown or is growing the agriculture sector. 2023-2024, during the drought season, we were at 1.5 metric tons, and now we have moved to 3.7 metric tons. And like I indicated, your president, my president, our president is methodical and works towards the targets. Our target, Mr. Speaker, is to produce 10,000 metric tons. 10 million, I beg your pardon. Mr. Speaker, the idea is to earn forex through exporting the excess, and the president encouraged the members of parliament and the nation that we need to go farming so that we can use the formula, the P minus C is equal to S. P means production, C, Mr. Speaker, is consumption, then the surplus you sell and earn some resources for your family. Mr. Speaker, the good people of Pemba constituency, they are very happy with the government, especially in line of this agriculture sector. 9,400 farmers received their packs for 2024-2025 farming season. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, the Republican President, the Commander-in-Chief, is very methodical. Through his initiative, we now have what we call SAF. This SAF is also targeted to increase the farming production. Mr. Speaker, he has brought on board civil servants through SAF. Mr. Speaker, we are happy to announce to this August House that 125 farmers in Pemba benefited on this SAF program, and we are talking of the amount not less than 14,478,000. Mr. Speaker, when the righteous lead, the inhabitants of that nation rejoice. Mr. Speaker, we are in support of mechanization program in this country as a district, as a constituency, and we are the beneficiaries of these mechanized equipment. Mr. Speaker, we received 4 tractors, 2 vehicles, 4x4.
Order, your time is up.
Mr. Speaker, when the righteous lead, the inhabitants of that nation rejoice. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Feira.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I was really looking forward. Thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the issue of CDF and decentralization is simply getting money from the central authority to the lower parts. It's not an increment from 1.6 to 36 million as it has been put. Further, Mr. Speaker, an impression has been created as if with the 36 million CDF, all problems have ended. Why are the problems? Why are people still talking? So I wanted to make those things clear. Mr. Speaker, one of my colleagues was talking about constitutional amendments. There is a constitutional court judgment, and this House should be the first to respect it. It will be illegal.
Honorable Member.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Oh, yes, thank you. Mr. Speaker, I now come to my points, having listened for 3.5 hours on Friday. Mr. Speaker, this was the 5th speech by the President, and we don't know, it might be the last one. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about projects, we talk about money. I expected the President's speech to talk about how we generate money. Now, this country and all of us have been told that we are poor. That is the lie that we've lived with. We need to know that we are actually very rich. And our riches are in minerals. The President was talking about increasing production. When all these factors of production of the mines, all the conglomerates, the multinationals are owned by foreigners. So we are basically increasing income for foreigners. The President should have talked on how much would tax these mines. 2,000 jobs, 1,500 are those jobs against 8 million of our youths that we are calling, here as, junkies and so on, which is very unfortunate. So my point is that when we talk about mining, we should talk about mining in the sense of, taxing and making income from the mining sector. Other countries are already doing it. Why are we so scared about these IMF and so on who have given us these conditions? Mr. Speaker, I think that it's important for this country to start discussing how we get 60% and above of the mineral value in this country, and not these leftovers. And talking about jobs, 2,500 and so on, that is nothing. Those are leftovers. Mr. Speaker, indeed, we also have mine suppliers. I've taken note that recently there's more of these same companies creating their own companies to supply the mines instead of Zambians. So not all of us can be farmers. A number of our people here, even in this House, are mine suppliers. But because of the policies of this government, we find that, these are not going on. So, Mr. Speaker, obviously, there's corporate tax. That's nothing. Because, you see, corporate tax is based on the profit. And these companies are reducing or they are manipulating their profits to small amounts so that the percentage, which finally is calculated is nothing in our coffers. Mr. Speaker, indeed, as I've mentioned, we are not a poor country. We are very rich. And I think that it's important, even as we lease our mines to these foreign entities, we tax them. I disagree with the Minister of Finance, talking about, saving the mines, that we shouldn't tax them. No, that story is an old story which we can't buy anymore. Mr. Speaker, I now come to the issue the President keeps on talking about. He's talked about it before and even talked about. He said all the cases that were in court about the mining companies and so on were withdrawn. Mr. Speaker, going to court has never been a problem. When there's a dispute, that problem has been resolved in court. And we cannot give away. It's on record. We condemned Vendetta as PF. The UPND condemned it, even after taking government. But we don't know, overnight, the story has changed. That this, something good has been seen, but look, there's no explanation that has been given. That leaves me with only one conclusion. How did you move from the point of rejecting Vendetta to accepting them? So, Mr. Speaker, in my view, we need to fight as hard, even in courts, to get that which Zambia, deserves from the minerals.
Because we know that Vendetta was not paying, you know, the suppliers, not paying taxes. They were always declaring losses. And this is one of the reasons that they were kicked out. So, in my view, I think that is a huge contradiction. And indeed, we need to... Now, talking about 3 million metric tons. In my constituency, which constituency, this government, you know, we had the mine which was supposed to be operating and employing these small things. They decided to get away that mine. And in my view, that mine must come back. We need our people at least to get the little they can get from there. Before I sit down, Mr. Speaker, let me just talk about the agricultural sector. We are talking about a bump harvest. In reality, that is not the capacity that we have in order to produce. We can produce more. We need to look at other ventures, you know, mechanization as well as irrigation. But more importantly, I heard the President say that we will export. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, determine what will come in future. It's not time for us to start exporting or think about exports. It's time for us to, you know, that's why we have the food reserves. Let's store for the next 2-3 years, then later on we can start selling. That's what happens. Now, talking about my constituency. In my constituency, firstly, there's the climatic condition don't allow us to produce more. Secondly, we have a human-animal conflict. Even the little that is produced is actually eaten by these elephants and other animals. So we need this food. So within the country, there are gaps. And therefore, I'm against the idea of exporting maize. We are in dire need of money. I've already talked about the minerals. And I'm going to list them. If you can allow me, Mr. Speaker, for a few minutes. We have copper, gold, diamond, uranium, and many other things. Diamonds. We have emeralds on the copper belt. Honestly, are these not resources that we have to use? So, Mr. Speaker, the last aspect is the issue of rural road connectivity. These rural roads are only done in some areas. I've raised this issue, and I was hoping that the President would make reference. Next year, the Minister of Defense will be coming to Kavalamanta in Fair on an international event where we'll be commemorating, you know, the freedom fighters from Zimbabwe. And he knows the road that we use. It's in a terrible state. We have raised this issue, and we want that road done. There's no sign now. It's 5 years. This issue was from 2022. Now we're in 2026, basically. And we do not know. In other places, we hear that these roads are being done. In my area, this is not being done. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, with those few words, I would like to thank you.
Honorable Member from Mitete.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, in the Lwangeni constituency, as well as Fera constituency, CDO is working. Page 34. Page 34, to this end, the Chingola-Kasumbalesa Road.
There is a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I apologize to the Honourable Member for disturbing his line of thought. Mr. Speaker, when the President was addressing this House last Friday, the Honourable Member...
You should state what has been preached.
I'm coming there, Mr. Speaker.
No, you start with that.
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Member on the floor spent the whole time that the President was speaking, sleeping.
Honourable Member.
And he missed the entire
Honourable
speech.
Member.
Is it in order, Mr. Speaker?
May you take your seat, Honourable Member.
Is it in order to rise and contribute to the President
Honourable
when
Member.
he spent the whole time asleep? I seek your serious ruling, Mr. Speaker.
May you switch off your mic? I think you saw that Honourable Member for Matero was dozing, so you decided to... You saw your young brother was dozing. May the Honourable Member... The Honourable Member was debating about the CDF. I think all members of Parliament were very interested. You may proceed, Honourable.
Chingola-Kasumbalesa Road, done. Luansha Fisangano, Fisenge Masangano, done. The Kitwe Chiburuma Road, in addition, works in progress. Ndola Sakanya Road, Ndola Mufulira Mkambo Road, and the Lusaka Ndola dual carriageway. When all this Monze Namwala, when all these roads were being mentioned, sir, in Kawoma, Mangango, Luampa, Lukulu, Mitete, Kabompo, tears, tears, tears of joy. Why tears of joy, Mr. Speaker? 12 national assemblies of Zambia since 1964. 12. 3 regimes. 3. 6 presidents. 6. This one regime, 27 years. The next 20 years, the one that followed, 10 years. The next one, 4 years. 4 years only. And the 13th National Assembly. And the 7th President. Katunda. Lukulu, Watopa, Mumbeji Road. I even have witnesses. On 19th August 2025, yes, the contract was signed. On 11th of this very month, 2025, the ceremony was held to give AVIC International Company a go-ahead. Anything might be talked about, but President Hakainde Hichilema on this road, having been around here for a while, he is not only Bari as known, but his new name is Kwenyu. Kwenyu, Mr. Speaker, means it is done. It is done. I've heard saying maybe who comes next year, maybe is coming, maybe. There is no maybe. Colonial time and Welensik with Kaunda and UNIP, it was known. UNIP and MMD, it was also known. MMD with PF, also known. PF with UPND 2021, it was also known. Mr. Speaker, in Mitete, UPND in 2026 with who? President Hakainde in 2026 with who? With who? With who? So they are even asking, tell us, even they who should do also tell themselves, they don't know. Mr. Speaker, it is done.
I've seen Honorable Munduvire is also saying like this, that he doesn't know. Me, I didn't know that you also don't know. May you proceed?
Look here, the acknowledgement. There is no competition. So it's known. You know the road shedding. A responsible reader shall admit, and he did admit, the pain. That's what it means. He did admit. We are feeling, we are sharing. And now here is as to how we should handle the matters. That's as to how things are supposed to be done. But because of the Katunda, Lukulu, Watopa, Mumbai Road that comes with the bridge at Watopa, and for the very first time a bridge connecting Lukulu and Mitete. Allow me just say it is for 2026 Kwenyu. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kasenengwa.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity for the people of Kasenengwa to add their voice to the presidential address. And I also want to appreciate my brother, Honorable Member for Mitete, indeed for saying the UPND has no competition. It is interesting, the UPND has no competition, but the organization is struggling even without competition. So be careful on that one. And this is a fact. Take note of that. It is a very timely warning, a friendly one. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would want to draw your attention on behalf of the people of Kasenengwa to page 12 of the President's address to this House. Mr. Speaker, I want to quote what is written here. More than enough maize has, I beg your pardon, more than enough maize was produced for local consumption, taking into account national food security. This success has brought some challenges in the crop marketing process. To address this, the surplus crop has been allocated for export. In some cases, as milling meal, this value-added export will help generate the much-needed resources to continue purchasing maize from our farmers. Other challenges are being addressed to improve efficiency over time. Mr. Speaker, this speech is talking about this country having a bumper harvest. But now I want to address the real situation on the ground, what is happening to our farmers. Mr. Speaker, our farmers did not produce enough maize to sell, especially those farmers who are on FISIP. And this government is recording a bumper harvest because it has forced people people have not sold the maize willingly to FRA, but they were being threatened. Sell that maize, otherwise you will not benefit from FISIP in the next season. As a result, a farmer is selling the little that they have, leaving nothing for their household, okay? Selling it to the government, which is celebrating a bumper harvest to benefit foreign nationals, leaving its own citizens hungry. Work done in this case, Mr. Speaker, is zero. Because what the president said here is actually what is happening on the side of the government. But to the side of an ordinary farmer in Kasenengwa, they literally have nothing for their consumption. Because a minister of agriculture stood there and he said, sell your maize.
Honorable member, I want to ask you a question.
For the
Order. There are certain issues as a presiding officer you have to intervene for the sake of the country. You know, if you talk about crop review, it's not based on maize that has been sold to FRI. It's based on field appraisals that agriculture extension officers conduct. So let's not mislead the public. Let's be content of your speech. Let's not be subjective. Let's be objective. The crop review is based on what sold to FRI. So let's ensure that our content of speech aligns with what is obtaining on the ground. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In all honesty, I had expected the Minister of Agriculture to respond to my debate. In all honesty, what I'm stating here is what is in this document, and this document talks about this country producing 3.7. Government has already bought 3.7 metric tons of maize, going into 4 million tons of maize. So I'm speaking to facts. I'm speaking to what is written here. So when I'm talking about people being forced to sell their maize, I'm referring to the 3.7 million tons which is written in here. And again, people are calling me in my constituency that they have been called to sell more maize so that the government can come and record what they are claiming here, that it will go to 4 million. Because people are being forced, not that they are selling that maize willingly. And this is what is happening on the ground. When I stand here, I speak for the people of Kasenengwa. I speak for the challenges that an ordinary peasant farmer is facing in my constituency and across this country, because this is what is happening. So when we talk about bumper harvest, we should talk about bumper harvest and maize sales that a peasant farmer willingly goes to sell to FRA because they have produced excess. Not when one has got less than 10 bags is told to go and sell 10 bags. What happens at the end of the day? We have farmers in Kasenengwa who did not do very well, either as a result of rains, at a certain portion rains were not very good, or the little FISIP which they received.
There is a point of order. Mr.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to rise on this point of order. Mr. Speaker, in terms of Standing Order 71B, Mr. Speaker, is my brother on the floor of this House in order, one, to tell this House and the nation that the Minister of Agriculture threatened farmers to sell maize. When, Mr. Speaker, it is an obligation called bonding farmers to protect our farmers from being exploited by briefcase traders who would have inadvertently purchased maize which would have actually been sold off as a matter of ensuring that the FISP program remains impactful to the local situation given the challenges of climate change. And secondly, of order. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, I am not debating. Mr. Speaker, is the honorable member in order to continue to debate this matter, which only yesterday you ruled that this particular matter of bonding farmers, the Minister of Agriculture is coming to give a ministerial statement next week on Tuesday. Is it in order to continue to debate a matter which you have already guided through your ruling yesterday? I thank you, sir.
Which standing order?
Thank you. The Honorable Minister has adequately debated his point of order, so I can't make a ruling on that. May the Honorable Member for Kasenengwa proceed.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I think the people of Kasenengwa have made their point very clear on that one, because they were being told to either sell the maize or expel themselves from being FISP beneficiaries. So that amounts to a threat. Mr. Speaker, let me continue. One of the members here debating was very concerned about these documents that are being prepared for the President to come and present them here in this House. Because even last time, Mr. Speaker, if you remember before last year, I was worried with the content of the presidential address. Do these people make these speeches? Oh, he did. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm losing my thought, Mr. Speaker. People are supposed to go on the ground and get the facts before they present them to the President. Because while the President was saying 99% of the people receive their farming inputs before the rain season, people of Kaseningwa were wondering, because they were receiving urea in March. Okay? And then you begin to wonder, when am I going to use urea, when the time to use urea has expired? Maybe they are the 1%, because he talked about 99%. Maybe the people of Kasenengwa are 1% of those who receive their farming inputs late. So the people of Kasenengwa were wondering. Mr. Speaker, I also want to talk about the water harvest that the President talked about. It is a very good initiative. We want to agree with him on that one. But he talks about improving the crop harvest by irrigation. Now, I'm not arguing. I'm agreeing with the President. But be careful with me, because I'll flip and disagree with him. Now, Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with the President on this one. And I want to state that going forward, as a way of water harvesting, Mr. Speaker, because most of our land, the water table is very low. I think we should concentrate more on water harvesting and even looking at our rivers. As you go to Chipata, Mr. Speaker, where you and me often go, as you cross the Rwangwa River, 3/4 of the year it's dry. I was going to suggest that the government comes up with a policy of damming the river every 10 kilometers. You dam it. Every 10 kilometers you dam it as a way of harvesting water.
Order, your time is up, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
The honorable member for Matero.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing, to borrow J.J. Banda's words, allowing the humble people of Matero to debate. On Mr. Speaker, I firstly would like to thank the President for having come to this House to give the speech of the last opening of our 5-year term. In effect, his last speech of opening this Parliament. in fact his last ever speech since he's a one-term president. He will never open this parliament again. He is a view once president. Mr. Speaker, allow me also to congratulate in advance the opposition in Malawi for going to win the election. The
Honorable member, withdraw that statement. Withdraw that statement. Malawi is a sovereign state. As such, an official result hasn't yet been declared. So for you to say that on the floor of the House is contemptuous. So withdraw it before. Yes. Withdraw the statement.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw the statement. I'll bring it back in future.
Which statement? Which statement are you withdrawing?
I'm withdrawing the statement congratulating the opposition in Malawi because the results are not official.
Okay.
I withdraw it, Mr. Speaker.
You may
in
proceed.
the interest of time, Mr. Speaker, the speech of the President on Friday, I go to page 23 of the President's speech, and I quote, Madam Speaker, on energy, item 89, our fellow citizens, energy is critical to industrialization and national development. The current hardship in the power sector have severely affected the livelihoods of our citizens. Small businesses are suffering and income are being eroded. 90, we feel the pain and frustration of power outages faced by our citizens, which include our families, friends, loved ones, and no one has been spared. End of quote, Mr. Speaker. I would like, when we feel the pain and frustration, I would like to disagree with the President. The President and this government of UPND, they don't feel the pain of load shedding. This is the worst load shedding this country has ever had. Since Evelyn on, since Welensky. They are heartless. They blame it on rains. Under President ECL, may his soul rest in peace, the most load shedding we had was 6 hours a day. In this current government, the load shedding is 23 hours. It comes, as others have said, once 1 hour per 24 hours, and it comes when people are sleeping.
There's a point of order. The honourable member for Suarez East.
They are dozing or not.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, based on our standing orders, 71, Mr. Speaker, the member debating cited page 23, and yet in item 91, it says, these are the words of the President, in the 57 years prior to 2021, growth in demand for power consumption significantly outstripped investment in power generation, transformation and distribution. For too long, this issue did not receive the needed attention. Our government is actively addressing this challenge. Is it in order just to mislead himself by reading just the first part, yet he was not even in this house when this speech was being delivered? Is it in order, Mr. Speaker? I seek your ruling.
Order. Honorable member for Matero, let's ensure that we are truthful and your debate reflects what the head of state presented on the floor of the House. So, honorable member for Matero is completely out of order. You may proceed.
Although I disagree, I respect the chair's ruling. Mr. Speaker, and I was in the House, check the records. It's just that I went to save Honorable Jean Chisenga when she was being beaten outside. That's why you didn't see me. Mr. Speaker, in this same last season,
2024-26 rain season, we see the Minister of Agriculture and everyone saying, Kwenyu, Kwenyu, we have too much rain and we have a bumper harvest. In this same year, this government is saying, we have no electricity, but we use the same rain to produce electricity at Kariba Dam there. We saw the president there going in Kanyama, taking Kodak pictures, going in Matero and Mandevu in floods, and saying, oh, floods, floods. Just a reminder that rains are coming, so we should not see floods in Lusaka, because he promised that he would do it. But then it only means there was water. But where did the water go that produced electricity? Mr. Speaker, that's why I disagree with the statement of the President on page 23, because there was enough water to produce excess electricity for this country. But what did this government of President HH and the UPND do? Instead of generating a lot of electricity in Kariba and give it to the people of Ruangeni, the people of Lumeza and Matero, Kanyama, the people of everywhere in the country, what did they do? They prioritized giving it to the business people to sell it. We've made power. Instead of giving you Zambians our prefer Kugoreka, we want to make money. They sell it to the mines, they sell it to FQM, they export it to DRC, they export it to Botswana to make money, while we only have 1 hour power at 2 a.m. When it comes, we're all sleeping. It comes, you just have to look. Mr. Speaker, the elephant in the house, other than this house, Parliament, the elephant in the house called Zambia is electricity, Amalaiti, Zesco, load shedding, Magesi. There is nothing in the country. It's unprecedented. We've seen presidents come, presidents go. But under President HH, who delivered this speech, there's no power. I have reasons why there's no power, and I'm going to tell the House, I'm going to tell you, Mr. Speaker, power was there, the supply, and even before I go to there, under President HH, under PF when it was in power, when you get 500 kwacha, it would give you about 25-30 units of power. Get the same 500 kwacha now, it is giving you like 12 or 9 or 4. They have increased the tariff on power. So people are paying more, but there's no power. I know why, where they took that power they have made. It was plenty of it. I know where they took it. Here is the problem. Mr. Speaker, there is a company called Canona. Canona was formed, it was never known. It was formed after UPND won in 2022. This is a briefcase company. You can't go anywhere and find an office called Canona. But suddenly, this Canona has rights to our electricity.
Order, honorable member. That Canona you're talking about, it's not here to defend itself. And let's ensure we debate the presidential speech. Because you end up injuring innocent people, their corporate image, you dent it, knowing very well that they won't be able to come here to defend themselves. So ensure, let's just debate the presidential speech. And you know, Zambians out there are some, on the presumption that whatever is said in Parliament is true, though you are just making assertions that you may not be able to substantiate. So it's not necessary for you to continue in that path. Let's ensure we concentrate on the presidential speech. Don't go out of context by including people that cannot defend themselves. You injure their corporate identity image, which was which will be quite expensive to repair. So ensure that you debate the presidential speech. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We debate IMF, but they are not in this House. I will respect your ruling, Mr. Speaker, according to our standing orders, and I will not mention the word Canona. Although they are in this report, they are mentioned. And Canona is not an individual. It's an entity. It's a company, and dealing with a public entity, ZESCO. But that, since you have guided, I don't want you to chase me out and give me 30 days suspension. So I will obey and continue. Mr. Speaker, the power we produce is given to intermediaries, who then get that power. Instead of giving to Zambians, they sell it to the mines and they export it to DRC and they export it to Botswana. And they even have rights. You know, in SADC region, in Southern Africa, there is an agreement signed by all countries that the Southern Power Pool, that whichever country has excess, you put in a bank. And whichever country has a shortage, you go and get in the bank. So you do call over there for electricity. For Zambia, when we get that allocation, it's given to this company. Instead of selling to Zambians, it takes away. This company is committing a crime and stealing from the Zambians, stealing power, and selling and making money. Omo Valeria, Valeriamo, and one day it will catch up with them.
Order, honorable member.
Omo Valeriamo, they should stop.
Order.
This Canona should stop and give power to Zambians. And we know the owners, but because you have guided, I will not mention their names. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this one.
I honor the Vice President adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the House now adjourns.
Order. Order. The question is that the House now adjourns. Any debate, any objection? The question is agreed to. The House is now adjourned.
Good evening. You have been watching Parliament Television, and business of the day for today has been concluded, and debate on the motion of thanks stands adjourned until tomorrow, Friday, when business of the House starts at 09 hours. And just on the floor of the House, just before adjournment, we had Matero, Member of Parliament, adding his voice to the motion of thanks, and others who have debated this motion include Binwa Mpundunkana, Member of Parliament. We had Sefulo Siveso Mwandi, Member of Parliament, Brian Munduvile of Mumporokoso, and also Alex Katakwe, Solwezi East, Member of Parliament. Others were Andrew Tayengwa, Kawata, Member of Parliament, Stephen Kampyongo, Shwangandu, Member of Parliament, and also Newton Samakai Munyelunga, Member of Parliament. The voice of Bemba also added, was also heard, adding the voice to this motion that was being debated. That's Lamek Hamwata. We also had Emmanuel Tembo Fera, Member of Parliament, and also Mishek Mutelo Mitete, Member of Parliament, as well as Philemon Twasa Kasenengwa, Member of Parliament. We now look at business of the House when the House started sitting at 14:30 hours. Business started with announcements by the Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker, in which she recognized the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Northview Academy School in Muchinga District, and she also recognized the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Red Vine Christian School in Lusaka. Other visitors included participants of the Parliamentary Strategic Planning High-Level Workshop, which was held at Holiday Inn, and the participants included Inter-Paris and European Union representatives. We also had representatives from parliaments of Ireland, Denmark, Sweden, and Canada, and the sister parliaments also who participated in this workshop. Sister parliaments in Africa included Zambia, Botswana, South Africa, Kenya, Namibia, Ghana, and Sierra Leone. And on behalf of the National Assembly, the Honorable Madam Speaker did welcome the visitors to the institution. And after that, there was a ruling, and the Member of Parliament, Mr. Kafwaya Mutwetu, has been suspended in absentia for 30 days. And in the ruling, the Honorable Madam First Deputy Speaker made this ruling following a complaint by Mr. Fred Chatila, Member of Parliament for Momba, against Mr. Kafwaya, Member of Parliament for Lunte constituency, for exhibiting disorderly conduct on the floor of the House and showing disrespect to the presiding officer on Wednesday, 16th July 2025. Mr. Kafwaya was earlier contacted by the office of the clerk to be present at the House today, but he elected to absent himself from the House. Mr. Kafwaya it's alleged that Mr. Kafwaya engaged the Honorable Second Deputy Speaker while making disrespectful gestures at him, despite being guided against doing so. And following a division and a vote in the House, Madam First Deputy Speaker mentioned that in accordance with Section 28 or 28(3) of the National Assembly Powers and Privileges, Mr. Kafwaya will be suspended for a period of 30 days, during which he will not enter the precincts of the National Assembly, and this extends to the National Assembly motel. He will not participate in any business or activity of the House or committee that he is assigned to in his capacity as a Member of Parliament. He will also not be entitled to any allowance or any salary he's entitled to as a Member of Parliament. And the 30 days suspension will run from today, Thursday 18th September, to Friday 17th October 2025. And after that, the House went on to consider questions for oral answer, and in total there were 4 questions today. 1, Understanding Order 82, and the other 3 were Understanding Order 80. And the first question came from Shiwangandu Member of Parliament, Mr. Stephen Kampyongo, and he directed this question to the Minister of Defense, and he wanted to know what led to the murder of 2 Zambia National Service ZNS officers at the ZNS factory in Lusaka West, Lusaka District on 7th September 2025, and whether government is aware that the murder has led to citizens fearing for their safety. And part C of the question, he wanted to know what urgent measures are being taken to ensure the safety of the officers countrywide. And in response to this question, the Minister of Defense did inform the House that the circumstances that led to these murders has not yet been established, and the matter is still under police investigation. And he also dispelled the fears that the people have, that there was no need to have for citizens to fear as investigations were underway, and that the police will soon nab the perpetrators of this crime. And on the urgent measures that being taken, the Minister did inform the House that the Zambia National Service Command, through established channels, are encouraging officers to be vigilant on duty and work within the unit standing operational procedures. So that was the question that had been posed by Shiwangandu Member of Parliament. There was also another question posed by Member of Parliament for Mbabala, Mr. Munsanje, and he directed his question to the Minister of Finance and National Planning, and he wanted to know what measures are being taken to integrate population growth data into the 2026 national budget as promulgated by the United Nations Population and Development Commission commitments, and part B, whether government has any plans to include allocation of reproductive health services in the 2026 national budget, and if there are no such plans, why? And in response to this question, the Minister did inform the House that some measures have been put in place to integrate population growth into data in the 2026 national budget, and these include population issues, population growth data, and also that government is also in the process of developing a population integration module, PIM, for use by the planning personnel at both national and sub-national levels. And in part B, whether government has any plans to include allocation of reproductive health services in the 2026 national budget. The minister, yes, indicated to the House that yes, the government has plans to include this, and that this will be channeled through the Ministry of Health. And the other question that was posed in the House did come from Muchinga Member of Parliament, Mr. Emmanuel Banda, and he directed his question to the Minister of Community Development and Social Services, and he wanted to know if government has any plans to empower the 250 differently abled persons in Muchinga Parliamentary constituency with the following: 1, hand tractors, 2, livestock, and 3, sewing machines. And part B, if so, when the plans will be implemented, and part C, if there are no such plans, why? And in response to this question, the minister did inform the House that government currently has no specific plans. However, there are other opportunities within existing programs to empower and benefit people who are differently abled, including the 250 in Muchinga constituency, and these include hand tractors, sewing machines, and livestock. And part C of the question, where the Member of Parliament wanted to know if there are no such plans, the minister did indicate to the House that beyond the ministry's own programs, government works in partnership with cooperating partners, civil society organizations, and the private sector, who support complementary livelihood initiatives such as the skills, the training provision of assistive devices, and also to access income generating equipment like sewing machines, and that government is committed to strengthening these partnerships and mobilizing additional resources to ensure that persons who are differently abled are not left behind in accessing sustainable livelihood opportunities. So those are just some of the answers to the questions that were posed on the floor of the House today, and also business that has been transacted on the House today. So this is where we end our live transmission today. Remember to join us again tomorrow. Being a Friday, business starts at 09 hours. So join us again tomorrow at that time. So from all of us at Parliament Studios, we want to wish you a lovely evening.